need someone to remind me to take the trash down tonight. I always forget to take it down, and it ends up becoming a little more of a headache than I need. But speaking of trash, guess what day it is? Got chest. As the title implies, we are gonna go and tear it up. In the past, the last like 2 or 3 chest days that I've done, lift's been pretty darn good. Chest is one of those days that either I have like a really incredible workout or it's just kind of scrappy. And I'm hopeful that today will be another really good day. What did I do last time? I think last time my primary, my first compound movement was the Smith machine bench press. I remember it not feeling as good as I wanted it to. Like, it felt good, but just not as good as I wanted it to. So I think today I'm going to change it up. I think I'm going to do the incline hammer press, or hammer strength plate loaded machine, because it did feel really good last time I did it. My one big gripe with that machine is sometimes I'll get a little too much front delt activation, and I think it might just be that I have a tendency to like slouch forward, especially when I'm sitting with my back straight. So I've got to really keep in mind to like pull my shoulders back. But beta alanine is already hitting, which tells me that it's going to be a good lift. But what I'm concerned about is the spring fling traffic. It's kind of like a half beautiful day, half really gloomy day. Like, if you look to the left, a storm's a brewing. If you look to the right, it's all sunshine. So we'll just have to see how many people are out and about. But if my calculations are correct, I think the parking lot's going to be full. It's not going to be full of gym goers. It's going to be full of people who use the gym parking lot to go to the festival. And I'm not going to say that I dislike any of those people, but it is a little frustrating. I don't know what type of deal my gym owner has with the city in terms of parking restriction. I would love if they got like parking passes or something, but I don't know. I think I'm just being like a grouchy old man when I think about that, because I know when I was younger, back at my when I was like 16, and I used to go to the spring fling every year, me and my friends would park in that parking lot. So I think the cycle is just repeating itself. I had my time with it. Now they get theirs. Something that I've been pondering is, and I talk about it all the time because, I mean, I'm cutting, so that's kind of it's all I know at this point. I've been cutting for so long that I don't even remember what it's like to bulk. But lately, I've been kind of plateaued at that 225-ish weight. And I haven't really lost a lot in terms of the scale. I haven't lost a lot of body fat. Well, weight, not body fat. And so, I'm always scrolling on TikTok or whatever. If I see anything about cutting, I like fitness content. So I'm going to watch it. And there's one point that was brought up to me that kind of, it makes sense. And that is, you're eating at a deficit. Like, you're eating, I know for a fact I'm eating at a deficit. I mean, 2,000 calories. Historically, my maintenance has been 2,600-ish, the higher 2,000s. So I know I'm at a pretty steep deficit. And while the scale hasn't really changed, I have been noticing differences, like, especially around my stomach. Because when I was at my heaviest, it was pretty much like a pouch. Like, if I was wearing a belt, like if I'm wearing a shirt with a belt, my stomach's going to be covering that belt buckle, or it was. Whereas now, like, I'm noticing all of my clothes are getting like more and more loose. Belt buckle's always visible when I wear shirts like tucked in. Like when I go for work, I'm wearing like khakis or something with a polo tucked in. And especially with those pants that I got, comparing, like, when I first got them, they weren't snug, but it's not like I could get in and out of them without like undoing the button. Whereas now, I can slip, like, if I'm not, like, if my belt isn't tight or like tightened, the pants will come off like super, super easily. So it's kind of got me to think about it in a more positive light that, while the number on the scale isn't changing, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm at a plateau. Uh, it's more likely, if you think about, the law of thermodynamics and conservation of energy, that I am losing fat. But, well, man, maybe I'm just proving my point, because the weight isn't changing, but the body fat is going. So it's not like conservation of energy. But it could just be kind of a recomp type of deal. A passive recomp. I'm not necessarily gaining strength. I'm not gaining muscle. But I'm just recomping the fat. Maybe. I don't know what I'm talking about. While I am, a scientist and I understand like the pathways of the human body and all that, I'm not a nutritionist. My focus was not on nutrition. So I could be talking out of my ass right now. But it is something to think about. Historically speaking, it has been done. Um, so I'm trying to, like, the longer that the cut goes on, the easier it gets for me to think about the weight loss in a more negative light, because I'm not seeing any like changes on the scale. But like I said, there are physical changes. My stomach is shrinking. Pants are getting more loose around the waist. Don't worry, they're getting tighter around the thighs. That's a good thing. But there's a shirt that I wear, like a workout shirt that I wear every now and again, and it's just like a orange red t-shirt. It's like a double XL, because I like wearing baggier clothes to the gym. And when I first got that shirt, it fit pretty well. Like, it wasn't like a tarp or anything. Like, it still fit me like relatively well. And now I'm almost discouraged from wearing it, because it is just so baggy that it kind of gets in the way. Like, the shirt will get in the way of whatever I'm doing. Like, if I like lean over, I feel like it just makes me look really fat because of just how far the shirt like puffs out like tent. So I'm trying to realign my mental to think about it in a more positive light. Um, I also could be wrong, but I might as well try to keep the thoughts more positive as the cut continues. Um, I have been thinking about maybe having like a quote unquote cheat day, like once a week, maybe to help with the metabolism. I don't know. I keep saying that I need to do the research on this stuff, but I'm kind of lazy and I haven't been doing that. But if anybody has any ideas, please let me know. But everything seems to be going well so far, so no real reason to change yet. But we're about to get to the gym. Plan for the gym is, I think the hammer strength will feel pretty good. And then I really like that, the flat bench, like plate or stack loaded, like flat bench. I don't want to do like free barbell flat bench just because you can get a little deeper with the movement, and I almost get worried that it's going to tear my like rotator cuffs up. But I think some of those and then some flies, we should be good. So I'll see you guys when I'm in there. Oh my God. That was insane. There are just packs of people jaywalking and just running out into the street. It's insane trying to get out of that parking lot. I cannot wait for the spring fling to be over. But that's not what's important. The pump is what was important. The gods have graced me once again because this was a phenomenal chest day. Unfortunately, I'm like a little pressed for time today because I was meant to do side delts. Kind of been the story these last few chest days, to be honest. But days that I'm not working doesn't mean I'm any less busy. It just means I gotta catch up on the things that I don't have time for on the days that I am working. So we made the most of it, and this was a juicy chest bump. Oh my God. Felt great. Everything felt really good. My one like hitch that I had was that I just felt super fatigued while working out. Like I was so out of breath while lifting. Like after every set, I was sitting there like heaving, like just really trying to catch my breath. So I don't know if like maybe I'm just super fatigued or I don't think it's a hydration thing because I was pretty darn high. I mean, could have been. Maybe I just needed to drink even more water than I did. I don't know. But regardless, it felt great. I got some footage of those incline hammer strength pressing whatever you want to call it. Those felt so good. I really focused on like retracting my shoulders just to bias like my chest. And that seemed to do wonders because shit, I mean, you saw it. Felt great. After that, God, what did I do after that? After that, I did, 3 sets of just cable flies and then finished off with the like, that lying, like flat stack loaded bench press thing I was telling you about. Every time I try to record over there, it's right by the leg equipment. And every time I try to record near there, there's somebody doing their leg lifts. And I am not going to catch anybody like in the background while they're doing like those leg lifts because I'm not trying to catch any allegations against me. But that's neither here nor there. A question that I get sometimes is, why don't I ever like pose or show off my physique? And there's a couple reasons as to why. I think the biggest reason is I'm not really, like, that's not the point of the content. I'm not doing this so that I can show off what I have and, try to gain views through it. Cause I'm sure if I did like posing and stuff and posted some good clips from that, I'd probably get a couple more views, but that's not really the point. Another reason is, and this isn't like as big a reason, but I'm more of the like, oh my God, what is this guy doing? I'm more of a like wait and see type of person. Like I'm cutting, my physique is nowhere near like anything that I want to show off to begin with. And so like even while I'm lifting, I wear all these like baggy clothes and everything because I don't want to take away from the focus of the lift itself. I just want to focus on getting like a good pump, getting a really good lift in, and just focusing on what's important. I saw the long ways to go in terms of body fat percentage. So I don't want to take away from that aspect. I feel like I'd get too much satisfaction from doing these pose downs and stuff to where I feel like I'd be a little less motivated to keep going, if that makes any sense. I don't want to gain the satisfaction until I feel like I've gotten to the point where I deserve it, if that makes any sense. But ultimately, it's not the type of content I'm interested in performing. Not interested in exposing all that to the world. If I ever compete, which that's not the end goal, but if I ever do get to a point where I feel like I could compete, then maybe you'll get a little something. But point of these videos is just for me to yap and for you to listen. If you want to see some good posing videos, some really solid physique, I think we all know who to go and watch. That's not my place. But yeah. In terms of how the cut's going today, for breakfast, I got pretty lazy. My cousin bought a bunch of these like frozen pre-made meal things, and the macros are not great. I had this like, it was like a chicken something bowl. It was 420 calories, 20 grams of fat, 41 grams of carbs, and like not even 20 grams of protein. By all means, pretty darn terrible. But the reason that I had it is because I needed the carbs. I try to have like a carb heavy meal before the lift. Because that's the most important meal. of the day for me. So, had that. It's pretty darn good. Uh, and it definitely helped with the lift, I'll tell you that. I've got 2 scoops of protein powder in the shaker cup next to me. So I'm sure that'll disappear in the next few moments. So that'll be, 70 grams of protein and I think a total of like 600 calories so far for the day. So that leaves me with another 1,600 calories and, 150 grams of protein to get, which is not going to be hard. Going out with the family, and I'm sure we're going to go and get dinner somewhere. I've got my scale with me, so I've set myself up pretty well to have a protein heavy meal and still hit the macros for the day. So that's kind of the whole point. I'm sure it would be a lot easier for me if I just meal prepped every single day, had the macros already planned out and everything. It would make things a lot easier in the long run, but there are a couple reasons why I don't go about it that way. Number one, I used to do it, and to be honest, I just got lazy. It takes a while to prep all your meals for the week, and I really can't be bothered. Like, I'm trying to capitalize on all the time that I have outside of the gym to relax. And I just don't feel like standing in the kitchen for an hour or two and cooking everything. It's a lot easier for me to just kind of freeball it. Bring my scale with me and just, figure it out while I'm out and about because I have so many options to pick from. And that leads me to point number 2, which is I don't like to restrict myself to the point where like, oh, like I can't go out to dinner with my girlfriend or with my family because I already have my meal prepped at home and I have to go and eat that. I still want to be able to go out and like enjoy myself while still having the limitations of what my cut imposes on me. So I can like still go out and enjoy everything, but just limit myself, like enjoy myself in moderation. I find that like when I restrict myself to that point where like I can't even go out with, friends, family, whatever, it's just not as enjoyable for me. As opposed to like going out to a restaurant with them and just saying like, hey, could you put the protein on the side for me so I can weigh it out or whatever? Like that, I don't mind. It's a lot easier for me to do that. And to be real, the people in your life that are not lifters, and they're not very like, they're not dedicated to a cut or bulk, or they don't really understand what it takes to get to that point. Is that an accident up ahead? That'll really suck if that's an accident up ahead. But for the people that don't really understand, I can't sit there and expect them to, suddenly get, oh, I can't do this or that because of my macros. I can't justify going out to Starbucks and getting a 400 calorie drink that's all carbs. That's a waste to me. And that's not something that they really get because it's just not a part of their lifestyle. So instead of trying to impose my ideals and my values when it comes to lifting and macronutrient intake, I just work along with them. It's a lot easier that way. I know some people in my life and like people in the community that when they're cutting weight, they cut themselves off from pretty much every like social experience in their life. And I get locking in and, like, oh, I'm cutting right now. I've got to grind it out. Like, hell yeah, dude, go and get it. Like you got to do what it takes. But also that doesn't mean to limit yourself from everything. Like the gym is a big part of my life and, lifting it's kind of like an everyday thing. You're always thinking about it. Everything that you do and everything that you consume is ultimately for lifting. But that doesn't mean that you can't go out and enjoy your life. Uh, like, you can do both. It is very possible for you to go out and enjoy yourself while also maintaining your macros. What the hell is this? Can't tell if there's an accident or what. But yeah, especially if you're young, like, it's not going to hurt you to go out and, go out to Buffalo Wild Wings with your friends. The nutrients are really easy to find online, dude. Go for it. And if you're bulking, you have even less of an excuse to go out because the macros are a lot easier to hit when you're bulking than you are when you're cutting because you don't have to limit yourself to like a certain number. Like you can go out 3 times in one day and you still might not hit your like 5,000 calorie macro intake. So it's easy to lose sight of like enjoying your life. So do it. Go out and have fun. I know you could probably say like, oh, well, the lifting is my fun, which yeah, I get, but not everybody in your life is going to be into that. So you got to do what you can. It can be hard sometimes though. So do what you can, capitalize on what you can get. But that's all I have to really say today. I've got to work tomorrow. So tomorrow will be an early morning back day. I think I might skip out on rear delts again. And do another shoulder day. Because it did feel really good the last time I did it. It probably won't be a permanent thing, but we will have to see. But till next time, I'll see you guys later.